What's good, Ali? I see you, Mike. Fight to fight. Michael even got a section, y'all. Y'all see it? Yeah. Oh boy, this shit's funny. Demise, what's up? Yeah, it's a point. He got a topic today. Yes, sir. I'm still here. I'll leave out in 2 weeks. Trying to give folks time to go ahead and come on in here. Is Michael in here right now? I know he was talking earlier. In his last comment. 10:31. Yeah, he in there. DeMarcus, you got to come up in here so for my boy apology. Where Talia at too? I actually did it a little earlier because she asked me to. So Cameron, say why the hell you going by Cameron now instead of say Will? Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button if you can, man. Ah, there she go. Yeah, Michael. Michael is here every line. All right, though, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting started up in here. Everybody else who comment, they're gonna have to just tune in when they see it, when they get time. So we got 5 good topics today. As y'all can see, we got Bree's death perspectives. Basically, with that one, this one was recommended by Demarcus because, um, as you know, we kind of got 3 different perspectives of Breeze's death, right? So we're basically gonna cover all 3 and go over which one we think is the more realistic one and possibly how it may have happened. Since we finally got Breeze, excuse me, on screen, I think it'll be pretty interesting to dive into that. Oh shoot, hold on, the stuff out of order. Next, we got Franklin Saint's biggest mistakes. As we know, he turned out to be a drunk lost all his money, and was out doing bad. So, what was his greatest mistakes that what was his greatest mistake that led to his demise, basically the fall of his kingdom? Next, we got Michael's apology. As you can see up there at the top, he's still telling y'all to apologize to him. So I'm gonna open it up just for a little time for y'all to issue your apology if you want to. And next, we're gonna cover the reasonable doubt. As we know, they have episode, what is it, 5 coming this coming Wednesday. So we'll be going over what to expect possibly for this next episode. And lastly, I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and insert Breeze's first move, because I think with Breeze being this big character, he's got to have something big that he's going to be doing. He's going to be doing big things, obviously, because he's Breeze. Like they didn't just give up this dude all this hype for no reason. He's the mentor of Ghost, Kanan, and Breeze. So he got to be a big deal. So what we're going to be discussing is in season 5 of Raising Kanan, what will be his first big move? All right. Oh, okay. It's a real name. Gotcha. He said, no, it's not. Yeah, he's the mentor of all 3 of them. So he got to be a big deal. It's crazy to my that's my prediction too. I absolutely think he's gonna get rid of Unique about time episode 5. That's actually the exact episode I predicted. But we're gonna get into that. Well, you know what I meant. Ghost Kanan and Tommy. Come on with that, nigga. You knew. But anyways, for Breeze's perspective, now we got 3 different perspectives of how Breeze was taken out. The first one we heard was in season 1, and I want to say it was episode 4, something like that. Season 1, episode 4 or 5, in that realm, right? All I know for sure is that it is in season 1. And that's when Tommy talked about it. And he said, Tommy actually mentioned them twice, but he didn't talk about his death. He mentioned them twice about things that he did, but the deaths he talked about once. And he said that, when he was trying to convince, matter of fact, it was later than 4 and 5, now I think about it. It had to have been like 6. Yeah, 6. It was absolutely, it was 6, maybe even 7, because I know Roller died episode 7. So it's either the same episode Roller died on or the episode before. But anyways, I know Tommy took a trip to New Jersey, right? And he he took a trip to go see Drifty. And Drifty basically was telling him that Roller was responsible for the death, for the organization being under attack. And Ghost didn't believe him. He was like, why would Roller do it? And Tommy gave his response, which was the same reason 2 former corner boys looked Breeze in the face and shot him in the fucking head. So That one there is actually the very first um scene that we know of that of how Breeze died, right? Even though I would say the perspective of Kane and Ghost is more popular. Because I would say probably the most popular one is Kanan's, which was the second one that was revealed, episode 308. He said, you know, Ghost broke into the Breeze's apartment and waited for him to come home to watch Jeopardy at 7 o'clock. And according to Kanan, he shot him in the back of the head. He said Breeze didn't have time to get scared. Or did he though? Because I gotta really think about that. Did he really say he shot him in the back of the head? Because maybe we just all assumed that because Kanan saw, maybe they just all assumed it because they say they found Breeze dead laying in front of the laying on the couch, which makes you question whether or not Kanan was actually there or not. I know that was a big debate. Me and my boy CG was having that one time on whether or not Kanan was actually there. Because some of the things that he said kind of makes you think he wasn't, but also some of the things that was said makes you think he was. But anyways, Tommy said they shot him in the fucking head. And according to Kanan's story, it seems as if he was shot in the back of the head. Then we go ahead and get to the very last person, which was Ghost. Episode 610. He said, basically he didn't really say how, he took out Breeze, but he gave the reason why, which was he asked, he loved him, he didn't want to kill him, but he got in the way of his future, so he had to get rid of him. But what Kanan didn't know, what Kanan couldn't tell you, is that I gave him one last chance to change his mind, and he didn't. So those are our three. He actually gave a different kind of slightly different version in episode 15, but for the most part, it was the same thing. But the question at hand is, which one is the most accurate? Or is it possible that all three of them just telling a different version of it? Perhaps all three of them were there, but they all seen it from how they seen it. Different perspective. See what y'all talking about. Breeze sets Unique up to go to jail. I don't think him setting him up to be in jail would be something he'll do. I think he'll just take him out. Could be right though. He gonna have Unique ain't taking it. He gonna have to. Unique ain't taking no orders from him. I absolutely agree. He ain't doing it, and it's not gonna be a room for two Kanes. So that means somebody have to go. I think Kanan played them into hating Breeze. That's a theory that's floating around here that's getting very popular. A lot of people is believing Kanan was behind manipulating both Tommy and Ghost to take Breeze out. And that could very much be the case. Because as we already saw in the original Power, preferably season 1 and 2, Ghost trusted Kanan basically more than he trusted anyone. In Roller's words, Kanan, you and that crazy motherfucker still tight, even after all these years. You trust him more than anybody, even Tommy. Those was Roller's exact words. And Ghost replied, he's my friend. So he did very much trust Kanan a lot, to that if Kanan was to lead him to believe that, was to tell him, hey, Breeze the one that's in your way, Breeze is behind this, Breeze, possibly, especially if he tell him that Breeze was responsible for the death of his father. You know what I'm saying? He might tell him like Breeze was the one. I hate to tell you, man, but Breeze was the one that took out your father. You know how he stayed finessing people, be how he be talking. Man, I ain't want to even have to tell you this. But it was Breeze was the one that took out your father. My uncle. You know how I love my Uncle Lou. But for the business, I tried to hold it down. But shit just burning me up inside, kid. I can hear him saying some bullshit like that and manipulate that bag to go take out Breeze. People still think Unique gonna kill Brian for the take. I think the people saying that is just trolling at this point. They don't actually believe that shit. Unique going to be killed by Breeze. I don't see happening. Hold on, you're saying he will or he won't, Deshaun? Why would Unique have to take orders from Breeze? They both got their own shit going on. Yeah, but they're both gonna be in Queens. It's not gonna be enough room for both of them. Because they gonna bump heads. Trust me. I don't think Tommy liked Breeze that much. Every time he bring up the past, he always bring up Kanan with admiration. And Ghost, the only one that brings up Breeze with some form of admiration. Well, I don't know, because he only talked about, let's see, how many times did Tommy mention Breeze? The very first time was when he was speaking to Holly. And he seemed kind of, you know, he seemed kind of happy when he revealed this story to Holly. He basically was saying that, we both knew this guy named Breeze back in the day. Um, he came up with Ghost. He said the kid had the ability to disappear, never saw him come, never saw him leave. So that was his. Outside of that, and him talking about them shooting him in the head, did Tommy mention Breeze again? Not sure. I can't think of another. Somebody let me know in the comments if you can think of another time that Tommy mentioned Breeze. Roller is a cold as name. Did he get his nickname from Breeze as well? It's a good question. Everything I say, here you come. You got an issue with me. Hold up, what? I smoked the Breeze because he wouldn't apologize. I'm just discussing the show, man. That's why we're here. Yeah. I think Kanan talked Ghost into killing Breeze. Yeah, that's what Ali was saying too, right? That was her brought that up, right? Hold on, Kenny came in here? Where? I don't see him. Yeah, Kenny hasn't came in here yet. Cannon and Breeze did not smoke Ghost Pop. Well, you don't know that, but I didn't say Kanan and Breeze. I said Kanan is going. It could manipulate Ghost into believing Breeze was the one who did it, and that's how he got him to take Breeze out. That's what I said. Also, wouldn't surprise me if Breeze actually did do it. Part of why Kanan came for Ghost is because of the Breeze kill. It don't really make sense that he would want them to take him out. Hell, you just never know. We don't know the whole story. It's a whole storyline that's missing. Things could happen that he becomes an endangerment to everyone, and maybe perhaps Kane. Because I know another thing that people mention that I think could be a possibility too is that Breeze started to take a liking to you know Ghost more than he did Kanan eventually, and Kanan got a little jealous, so he manipulated Ghost into taking him out. Kind of like what happened with Milan and Patar. What's up, Ezzy? A lot of shit gonna happen in season 5. We definitely getting the Kanan and Jukebox fight to explain why he had a cut on his neck in OG Power. Yeah, I would say so, because it kind of seemed like that, Haley Kilgore is not going to be in this new spinoff, which I am not happy to hear, but that's what it seems. So it may seem as if Jukebox might not be in this spinoff. Sasha Penn already said we're gonna find out, I guess, why it was so easy for him to pop her in OG Power. Oh, where he say that at? I never saw that. Was that like in the article, like Deadline article or something? Yeah, I never seen that. Hey, Hazy, you see up there? We got a session for him, man. For folks to apologize, we're gonna open the floor for y'all. What's up, Malachi? He got great ears. Shut the fuck up, bro. Why you keep coming in here like that? Should be. Breeze getting the Ray treatment. If you go back and watch OG Power, the parallels can be seen. Tariq caught Ray lacking in his apartment at 7:30, like Ghost did Breeze. So okay, let's go with that support. Are you open to the theory that what was his name? Um, Tony Montana, I think his name was. Um, that was saying that Breeze was a cop. I mean, Ray was a cop. So do you think Breeze could potentially be one as well? Michael just raised baby. when Dre gave Tariq the location to Ray, he told Tariq the address and that Ray would be at the spot around 6 to 7:30. Well, Ali, I think it's been confirmed she's not going to be in Origins, at least not this first season. Maybe she'll come on that like doing a few guest star roles later on, or it could be that they just completely cast a brand new actress. Or they might recast Jude. Hope not, but they might. Yeah, I was just saying that. In 201, when Kanan finally went to see Ghost, they was they was in the office talking. Ghost questioned why Roller would come for him. Kanan said, "Why wouldn't he? It's the same shit you did to Breeze." Ghost didn't know Kanan knew. I think that's a good argument, Talia. I think it's a good argument, but we can't guarantee that Ghost didn't know. But I do remember his facial expression that you're probably thinking in your head too of why you're saying that. It did kind of seem like maybe he didn't know he knew that because Kanan started looking at him and smirking afterwards. Kilo. I don't seen Kilo in here before, but what you mean? How was dinner? To answer your question, it was good as hell. Was it 6, Talia? Let me go and check. Let's do a fact check. I know it happened at episode 410. So let's see who is right about this. Yeah, I'm about to regret to bring that up right now. Not sure what was the time he said.
Rick, what the fuck is this, man?
I need to find Ray Ray.
So what you want with me?
Well, you introduced me to Kanan. You knew where I was when Ray Ray sent that text. So I'm guessing you know everything. So where the fuck is Ray Ray?
Rick, you on that lane again?
Mm-hmm. And I might be high enough to shoot you right here in broad daylight.
Hey, Rick, you be shooting me for nothing. Look, I swear I'd help you if I could, but I don't know where he is, Rick.
That's bullshit. You're lying to me. Everybody's always fucking lying to me. Ray Ray was looking for me when he shot my sister, man.
All right, though, bro, look. I feel you, but Ray Ray is a bad motherfucker. Let me handle this. Put the gun down.
No, I'm taking care of it. Listen, Dre, I covered for you before. But if you don't tell me where Ray Ray is, I will snitch on you to my pops and my Uncle Tommy. I'll tell them that you knew everything. I'll tell them that you knew that Kanan was alive this whole time. And that you knew who killed my sister and you still ain't say shit.
I did that for you, man. I kept shit quiet for you, man.
Yeah. I tell them everything I know about you at any time. So either you speak or I will. So where the fuck is Ray Ray?
Hey.
Where is he?
Fine. Niggas gonna be in Washington Heights at 6 o'clock p.m. 735 Fort Washington Ave.
Talia was right. It was 6. All right, Talia. Might said Dre y'all hold 304. I'm gonna go back up. I'm sure I got some more. Tariq broke into Ray Ray apartment describing the story Kanan told him. Now, see, that's the thing, Talia. They already confirmed that Makai Curtis is going to play his role as Kanan, and which is crazy because you should keep Jukebox and recast Kanan because that nigga too little, and he's not the greatest of actors. I mean, he's gotten a lot better over the years. He's not bad now, I think. but he's not. He's not a you can get a stronger actor for sure. The actor who played young Monet was Spot. She looked just like Mary J. Yeah, she was a good cast for sure. Well, we saw that it was seven. I mean, it was six. Young Tommy is why I'm hyped for Origins and gonna be funny as hell to see a white boy in that environment. Those facial expression and Kanan's smirk is exactly why I said Ghost didn't know. He thought that was a secret between him and Tommy. So, next question would be why how did Kanan know that? So because it seems as if you're implying that Kanan wasn't there. So if he wasn't there, how did he find out? The only way I could say maybe he found out is Tommy was running his mouth. That's Tariq on the bike in the forced trailer, right? I don't know for sure. I know a lot of people are believes it. I haven't 100% really studied it and too much, but I mean, it kind of looked like it could be him. I always thought Tommy and Ghost had the same perspective of shooting breeze, the same way they did Milan. Do make sense, they both shot him in the head. Kanan set the shit up. He a manipulator like Rock. When Ghost and Tommy smoke breeze, hopefully they don't get folded like Tariq and Braden did with Zion. That was sorry as fuck. Well, let's see. You say he didn't know. So I was trying to look to see did the person on the bike have a chest or something like that. I don't think it looked like it was, but it did seem like Ghost could fight at Tariq's age because remember, Kay Egan told a story about how he beat up the guys that was trying to bully Tommy. Excuse me, and the fact that Kanan described him as the meanest kid he knew. So I would say it's safe to say that he could fight at a young age. This day. What's up, Kenny? Bad man, whole season 4 of Ghost was straight ass. I don't say the whole season was, but he said no, not until I get an apology. Man. But anyways, though, I'm gonna go with what I believe was to happen is Breeze came home. I should do a video on this too. I think Breeze came home like he typically do, turned on the TV, ready to watch Jeopardy, and then Ghost and Tommy came out of the closet. snuck up on him, put the gun to his head. He felt the gun on the back of his head. And then once he felt the gun on the back of his head, he already knew who it was. And I think the reason how he knew, the reason why he knew who it was because keep it this in mind. And this kind of could go against Kanan manipulated Ghost and Tommy into taking out Bree's theory right here. Because remember in episode 610 and 615, Ghost said that he gave Breeze one more chance to change his mind and he didn't do it. So that means Breeze, it was something that Breeze was doing that Ghost didn't want him to do. He was trying to convince him not to do it. But he decided, man, I'm doing this shit anyway, bro. I'll make it. So I think once he snuck into the apartment that night and put the gun on his head, Breeze already knew, damn, Ghost. And I think I'm more so leaning towards even more now that he gave his Breeze gave him his nickname right before he killed him. Cause like I said, I could see a scenario where he sneaks up on Breeze, put the gun to his head, Breeze feel the gun to his head, and he like, should have known it. Fucking Ghost. You know, it was like James. Whichever one he may have said during that time, like, never see him come, never see you leave. And afterwards, after he starts talking to him, you know what I'm saying, having a conversation with him, and this is Ghost saying stuff like, I told you not to do whatever, that whatever it was that, Breeze was into. And he was like, I was warning you not to do that shit. And you didn't listen. And I think Breeze gonna take his shit like a G. He gonna be like, and I did that shit anyway. So what the fuck are you gonna do? And I can see a scenario where he walks to the front of him and, he looks him in the eyes and both of them pop his ass. Similar to like the Milan situation. That's how I think it played out. Real niggas can spot real niggas, and you looking real unfamiliar right there. This nigga's so stupid. Breeze keep them as corner boys, not partners, and Kanan thought he would have that spot when Breeze was gone. But Ghost wanted the number one spot. Very much capable of being the truth. But like I said, I think whatever it is, we got to consider that whatever it is that was the situation, Ghost warned him about it, and Breeze didn't listen to him. Breeze's last word, all right, little Ghost, I see you. It probably was something similar to that. He get the name before that because Tommy was telling Holly James got the name Ghost because he had the ability to disappear. Did you hear what I said though? I described it. I said while he's holding the gun on him, he says that. He said, I should have known, just like a ghost. Never see him come, never see you leave. Your ass just had the ability to disappear. So it could happen very much like that. Now he could have gotten it before. I'm not, I'm not against it. I'm not gonna be like some of these folks going at people saying, "Oh no, it's this, is that." I mean, obviously none of us know. I think it's a possibility that that moment right there could be where he gave it to, or maybe it was just some certain things he seen him do, and he eventually gave it to him. Either way, I think the death scene very much happened like that. Bree's death better not be lame, and hopefully we actually like him as a character by then, so his death hits a little harder. I believe he absolutely will. I think he's going to be a very likable character. I really hope I'm right. So, what's up, Golson? I'm at work right now, but still stopping in to support like always. Great topics. Yeah, I have hit the like button. But Tariq has ghost potential. He just needs to learn how to fight, and he would be good. Breeze shoots himself. Absolutely not. But anyways, though, I think that pretty much is going to wrap up this first section, the depth of Breeze. The different perspectives. And anyone else want to add something in it before I transition over to Snowfall with Franklin's biggest mistake? Tariq better at Ghost's age because he ran his own empire at an early age, while Ghost was a corner boy all his life until he put Kanan in jail. Well, this is true. But Tariq had way more advantages than Ghost. We also got to consider that. But that is true. Tariq also cuts ties with Braden as partner, which what Ghost should have been did to Tommy. It's another thing that I kind of been thinking. I said this a while ago, And I'm also gonna say it again that um, it's possible Braden might end up getting popped and getting up out of here because although he is similar to Tommy, he don't he still hasn't quite became like Tommy. Now, one of the ones is just like another person that's emerging, especially if they decide to keep him alive and you know put him into the spinoff. D Mac is very similar to Tommy, a hothead that don't think before he do shit. But D Mac is smart as hell though, and Tommy not, as far as numbers and shit. So I don't know. Tariq still need more street work. I've been saying that for the longest, but I feel Ghost didn't really want to kill him, so he missed on purpose, and Tommy really killed Breeze. Interesting, but I think if that was the case, Tommy would have said the same reason why I shot Breeze in the head. So probably both of them did it. Michael, I don't even think Steve Harris is in here. Did you see Giannis wants to go to the Knicks? He also sent his wife and kids to live back in Greece. I did not see that. What do you see them headlines at? That's why it was a bullet hole in the wall, and Tommy felt he had a point to prove. Gianni claimed he want new roles. Could it be true? Could be. As an actor, I could very much see it being possible. Tariq or Braden not dying. They the next Ghost and Tommy. Okay. I don't think Braden is similar to Tommy. D Mac, yeah. Braden. Why the extra ends? I honestly don't think it'll be a waste of character if they decide to get rid of him. Ghost actually learned the game the right way. Ain't no way a little nigga like Reek moving up to the game that fast, especially not being the street smart or physically intimidating in any capacity. I'm gonna say this: of all the people I know of that involved with that, it ain't never happened like that. Very unrealistic. Really? So he wants to go to the Knicks. Hey, that'd be a great place for him to be. Way bigger market. I'm not sure if they have the money, the salary cap to pay him, but possibly they do. He'll fit right in. He's tough, has the plays defense, yeah. I think that's a great fit for him actually. They need new characters and bring the old in at times. Yeah, Tommy did say to Ghost, two former corner boys looked Breeze in the face and shot him in the head. Yep. Giannis is the real best player in the world as of right now. You can make an argument of that for sure. Gianni could be capping, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and head to this next one, my good people. Let's head on over to Snowfall. Snowfall, your boy Franklin Saint. Now, Franklin Saint is somebody who built an organization as a young person as well, too, and built it from the ground up. So, Franklin, as we know, started off in the game. He got a brick from, Ivy. And thanks to his auntie Louie, he was able to finally get that brick off at Claudia's place, and that was when he first was started in the game. But as we know, he had a lot of rough spots. But eventually, once he went to Oakland and learned how to make crack cocaine and brought that back to Los Angeles, that's when his empire really started to build. Now, in the midst of the building of that empire, he made several mistakes that ultimately led to him becoming just like the person he didn't want to become, his father, who was a drunk, who ended up being homeless. So I asked y'all, what was the greatest mistake that Franklin Saint made that led to his demise? Being broke on the street, drinking, looking like Ezel from Goddamn Friday. I don't know about Snowfall. I've never watched it. Well, I advise you do. Because like Ali said, Franklin is that dude. Franklin Saint was one of the coldest motherfuckers I've ever seen unleashed in the black community since Marlo Stanfield. I'm not too I'm not familiar with Marlo. I mean, I know who it is because of people mention it, but never watched The Wire, so I don't really know. This by Michael is ugly as hell, bro. You just noticed 5 topics. Power trips, Veronique being cocky, trusting Teddy, trying to control his family, who was in the game to support him. Franklin Saint became the very thing he once used to serve and looked down on. A fate far worse than death. Hell yeah, it was bad. I tried to watch The Wire once and I'd never been so bored in my life. Damn. Franklin ended similar to Michael Corleone from Godfather, all alone, but he's not dead. Well, technically Franklin wasn't all along. I mean, if you pay attention, really most of Franklin's people were still alive. I mean, maybe they wasn't all cool like that. I mean, let's be real. Oso was still alive and they were cool. Leon was there with him to the end. I mean, of course, his relationship with his mother went bad. His father died, his uncles died. Louis and his relationship sucks now, of course. Yeah, yeah. See, and okay, so this is something else I want to add up in this section. this segment too, people. I know during the conclusion of Snowfall, a lot of people criticized the show and didn't like the ending. What did you guys think of the ending? Okay, so Marla was basically Franklin, but more psychotic and literally killed a nigga over a lollipop on a Sunday. Damn, that sounds like somebody that was ugly as hell. Franklin end was real. We see people like this in the hood jabbering off. Yep, the ending was reality for many of us in our communities. Not going to until you apologize. All in, all, the very good points. I think the ending was accurate and represented the fates of those who played the game dead, on the run for life in prison, a bomb, or Muslim chains. Somebody said the end. You said, okay, Michael said Mike Franklin's ending was trash. I'm going to agree with Ali and Kalinga. I thought the ending was pretty good. It gave us a different dynamic, of what we were expecting to see. Like, let's be real. Most of us were expecting him to die at the end, or at least go to prison, and neither one happened. And like he said, he's free now, although he wasn't, because people wanted Saint to end on top and with his money. I'm one of those people, but I wouldn't say I disliked the ending. Didn't really like it either, but it was cool. All right, and it was sad. Yep, you would not always win, and really, Sizzy set him up to still make it, and he got stuck in his head like his dad. Right, which gets me to the center of of this segment. What was his greatest mistake? He made a lot of them. I can go through a few list of his greatest mistakes. And some of these certain people may not see them as a mistake. Y'all can let me know if y'all see it as a mistake or not. I'm gonna go through all of his major plays that impacted, the storyline and everyone around him a lot. So to me, his very first, and which arguably could be the biggest one, his very first big mistake was shooting Kev to try to stop him from shooting the Mexican. Now, who knows? The outcome could have been that they all got wiped out by some the Mexicans later on. So who knows? But what we do know is that after he shot Kev, that ultimately got him in jail. I mean, of course, he got out, but that's what made Kane come after them in the first place, right? So him shooting Kev and not taking care of their family afterwards played a huge factor in that. That's what made Kane come after them. And of course, we know Kane ended up killing Jerome. Louis and him got on bad terms because of that. Because keep in mind, Louis trying to get Kane in the first place um, also caused caused Kane to want to come after her because she never did that. Cain would have never had to come after her, and Jerome would have still been alive. So that was a major, you know, kind of mistake that he did. We understand why he did it, but we see what the outcome was. Another major one I think he did, to throw out, give y'all some more examples, killing Andre. You know, once he killed Andre, you know, that ended up making Mel shoot him, right? And not after Mel shot him, he went down for like what, months maybe? And that's when the war between Manboy and Scully escalated. And after that war escalated, uh, he had to pick sides between Scully and Manboy. He ultimately decided to back Manboy, which I think was a mistake. Louis was right. He should have backed Scully. If he would have backed Scully, took out Manboy, I think Khadijah wouldn't have liked it, but she would have let it go. She wouldn't have went crazy the way she did, you know, if you know, he if Manboy was to die, because her daughter would have still been alive. But the fact that he backed Manboy and Scully went crazy and went after Leon, which made Leon take a shot at Khadijah them in the car, ultimately killing the mother. The mother, Khadijah, went after them at the funeral, ultimately shooting Louis. Louis, after she got shot, decided she didn't want to no longer work under Franklin. That's what ultimately made her want to go and, you know, get the plug behind Franklin's back. Getting the plug behind Franklin's back is what ultimately led to the Saints War, and the Saints War ultimately destroyed them. So that to me is probably arguably, you know, the arguably the biggest one is backing Manboy over Scully. But maybe that war never would have escalated had he not shot and killed you know, Andre. But then again, Andre was a problem. So he had to do something about it. Another mistake he made was trusting Teddy with the money. And that's how he was able to rob him. And that's what made him want to go after, you know, Louis, to try to get her help. Once she refused, of course, you know, he robbed her. So he made a lot of mistakes. Just gave y'all a few examples. Which one you think was the worst one? So, DeMarcus, I always believe Tariq's story is actually going to end with him going to prison. Tariq will end up someone's girl in prison. Damn. Andre is the police officer that really was making a whole lot of noise in season 3. Remember in season 3, episode 308, I would want to say, Franklin shot and killed him, which was Melanie, Franklin's first love interest, died. Effie from Power is very, very lucky she's never crossed paths with the Kane from Snowfall. That nigga was in this hell. He was about to put Louis on the corner for the Lolo. Hey, you ain't never lied, bro. That man was in his head. He so was in his head. But my question is, why the hell you mention Effie out of everybody? Like, why her? Tariq dies in Club True. Oh, come on, Talia. You gotta know what Melody is. Might said Tariq gonna become Tara in prison. Ty flees St. Patrick. Franklin became too power hungry and abusive towards family and friends. Absolute power corrupts. I wished instead of legacy, they called it Power Book 5 Corruption because that's poetic ending. Yeah, that actually would be good. Because power corrupts and it could lead to the downfall of all major protagonists. Yeah, it would be nice if they did allow us to put them in chats. His reactions to Louis hurt her because she rooted for him and he turned on her for power. Exactly what point are you speaking of here? Are you talking about like when he first pulled the gun on her? Because I mean, to be honest, she kind of betrayed him a little bit. Him taking Andre's started his body's man mindset, and there was no more turning back. Tariq would die by cash. That'd be crazy if that turns out to be the truth. But I absolutely agree with Talia because I'm getting tired of this cash bullshit too. Let his soft ass stay where he at with his bad acting ass. We know how Tariq's story ends. He dies to his own son in his nightclub. Book 2, Season 4 gave it away. Could be a tease because Effie got with the more honorable Kane. Oh, okay, I got you. Got you. So you said if she was with the England came with Snowfall, she had been cooked. Imagine if Queen Louis would have eliminated Franklin. So you're talking about doing the scene where he first went where when she had to drop on him because Buckley had to scrap on him. If she would have decided to go ahead and tell Buckley to end him. I think that would have been very bad, to be honest with you. Because do I think, you know, do I think Jerome would have went as far as killing his own wife because of his nephew? Maybe. You know, it's possible. But he absolutely wouldn't have been happy about it. You know, I don't see him just protecting her. He would have been pretty hot about it. But maybe he could have let it go once she tell him that he pulled the gun on her first. So, but the dark horse is I think after that, Sizzy and Veronique would have worked together to try to take them down. Now I know a lot of y'all probably like who the fuck are they, but sometimes you can underestimate women. One thing about, of course, men, we bring down more force, and I would say overall, a lot of stuff, when it comes to stuff like that, we tend to be better. But when women are pissed off, the shit they'll think of and the shit they'll do to try to end up getting revenge, you'll never see it coming some of the times. Because of them being underestimated. So I think it would have sparked a lot of, bullshit. And also I don't think Leon would have let that shit just go. So I think it would have been Leon, Veronique, and you know, and Sizzy would have teamed up to try to get Louis for that. Because Leon, he liked Louis, but he was pretty hot at her already about the Kane situation. If she would have took out Franklin too, yeah, that would have been it. And then obviously by default, Wanda would have been on their side too because she would have been with Leon. So yeah, that would have been an all out war. If, but that's a good point you put out there though. Demarcus, that would have caused some crazy shit. After she was shot, like we talked about last night, it started a domino effect. Yeah, it did. Cause she couldn't trust him no more after that. This nigga always talking about who is a snitch. Yeah, yeah. Franklin did a little dry snitching to Kane. So what? They say in any kingdom, a woman will tear a house down. Yeah, a woman could make your entire kingdom crumble if you got the wrong woman on your back on your side, or if a woman is able to infiltrate and start attacking from the inside. A woman can make your kingdom fall. Absolutely, they're dangerous. Clyde talking to Jerome saying was very intense. Clyde. Now I'm confused. Who the fuck is Clyde? Raiden would have looked into another nigga's eyes. He not a fool. You hope Tariq don't become a cheater too. Leon cuffing the neighborhood naked is still wild to me. You talking about cuffing Wanda. Stuck in a loop, he can't escape his father's past. He goes now. I ain't make no excuse, nigga. I just said so what? If he's smart, he won't have any kind of major relationship with anybody. That ain't gonna happen. Oh yeah, I got you, Demarcus, the mechanic. Cool. You're saying you don't think Diana and Tariq is gonna have a child? Anyways, though, I think that's a pretty good segment. We can close it out with that. I'm about to head on over to your your segment, Michael. It's your time to shine, my boy. Tell them folks to apologize. Go ahead. Y'all apologize to my boy. Go get me some more juice real quick. Y'all heard him. Yeah, you should check out Reasonable Doubt, bro. That journey is good. Franklin's biggest mistake was allowing his power to corrupt him. Mm. So to explain, roughly a month from now ago, we was having some kind of I can't remember what the topic was. Matter of fact, I do remember the topic. This is basically when the new cast of Origins, the cast for Young James St. Patrick and Tommy Egan was announced. Michael was saying that they should get Michael Rainey to play the young version of Ghost, right? And I was saying that that doesn't make any sense because he's already in another series to have him, play another character. It just would be, it would be difficult to have him in two spinouts because for one thing, he would never get a break. And then on top of that, they're two different characters. So he would have to, if he's a method actor, that would be a little challenging for him. And, a bunch of different other points. And, Michael basically kept saying, trying to, prove his argument saying that, it should be here. And support ended up timing him out because of that. And ever since then, he started heavily going at support each live, telling him to apologize for timing him out when he speak the truth. And then he kept going at him to the point that everybody else started to get annoyed by him and started telling him to shut the fuck up. So he started telling them to apologize. and now, and now it's just a whole history of people that need to apologize to him. Yeah, Franklin family was already with him. He wanted to control everything. I don't know if I agree with that, but hey, maybe I'm saying it. Say, I apologize that your father didn't wear a condom. Next segment. Oh shit. Kanan introducing Ghost to Tasha. I know this half smart chicken head from Queens that's going to help you get over that Spanish bitch that broke your heart, kid. And she cooked like a motherfucker too. Sorry that you have the IQ of crusty socks. Sorry that the school system failed you. Sorry that you won't get the policy you want. So shut the fuck up and move on. My father didn't wear a condom. Thanks for the compliment. We watching OG Power. We watching those scenes with Kanan and Tasha, how he talked to her and about her. I don't know for sure if he smashed, but there's definitely some personal history there. Sasha Penn actually kind of touched on that slightly. Of course, he didn't give any details really, but and even Kane, even 50 Cent touched on it was talking about, because I did a video on this about, something has definitely, went on with them. He even said, you wait till you find out. Cause matter of fact, it was the same episode right after, Kanan was killed. He was saying, all because of the son of an ungrateful son, a snitch nigga or something. He said, who um who don't never knew that I smashed his girl. I smashed Tasha way back in the day or some shit. He said. Man, if you don't shut up with that goddamn be real and shit, don't nobody give a fuck about that nigga. Hold on, Ali, you said, you say you made a video on this. I need to go check it out. How you want someone to apologize for your stupidity? I don't know if BMF gonna get that damn new season. The Tori posted a video too, and she said Tasha and Kanan never smashed. Yeah, I saw that. I put that in my video as well. I forgot it was you or Nate, but one of y'all said that Famous was actually harder rapper than B Really. He actually caught a body. That shit still funny. I think that was Nate there. I think, but I definitely said Famous was the better rapper. All right, DeMarcus, I gave you your time. It's time to move to the next one. I mean, not DeMarcus, Michael. Time to go ahead and move to the next one. They didn't want to apologize. I tried, my boy. Hold on, I gotta apologize. You ain't never getting that apology. What the hell I'm apologizing for? I don't know though. Being that 50 and Stars don't have a good relationship, maybe they will bring the show back. But buy him out or something. I hope we see her in the final season of Raising Kanan as a potential love interest. See who at the end of Raising Kanan as a potential love interest. Okay, if you're talking about Tasha, that's not happening. How is B really more dangerous than Famous, and he ain't take out nobody yet. We ain't seen this nigga fight or nothing. Famous got bodies than more bodies than B really. Famous actually tried to rob a nigga. Anyways, though, we moving on to reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt, people. So, god damn, what the hell my fucking charger? Damn, laptop not charging. Anyways, though, Reasonable Doubt, episode 5, what to expect, what do we got, people? So, things I think to put to come. Trying to remember, it's crazy because I only had one watch. I really should rewatch it before um tomorrow. So sometime tomorrow I need to rewatch it. Support King Combs gave it. 2006. Hey, she really right though, Michael. You had a whole segment. That was your apology right there. I actually donated a segment to you, bro. But anyways, though, we know that this issue with Jazz father and Lewis is probably going to end up becoming something. That's one thing I think is going to be an issue. Jazz, I can actually see a scenario where, you know, Jazz find out that Lewis kind of, pulled up on her dad like that, and she might take his side, which is crazy. But I think I could see something like that happening. I got a question also too for the people that watch Reasonable Doubt. Do you all think um what's Morris Chestnut name on here again? Takara, we just gave him a whole apology session and he's still mad. Well, at least I dedicated a segment to him. Corey Cash, thank you. So y'all think Corey Cash is gonna actually smash Jazz this season? Because you see a couple of things happening. It looks like the situation that went wrong with the girl that he got pregnant might be over. Possibly, it might end up resurfacing. But now the thing with the dad is happening. I think they're gonna build up. They might possibly build up some shit to try to have, build up some shit to try and have her to have an excuse for to let that nigga in. What y'all think? Jazz for the streets. Sure seems like it. So DeMarcus says no. Okay. So what about the dad situation? Do you think he might possibly Jazz might end up getting mad at Lewis because of the dad situation, and it could be a scenario where she ends up defending her dad? Matter of fact, now that I think about it, it's crazy, right? Maybe her dad is the one that she was screaming over. Because remember, we seen in the trailer that she's gonna be looking down at somebody and screaming as if possibly that person is laying down dead or something. And I think it's gonna be an overdose. I didn't call her Jazz, nigga. I said Jax. Maybe it just sound like it. Y'all, you gotta get used to our accents, nigga. Well, y'all gotta get used to Memphis niggas. I said Jax. I knew her name. But anyways, yeah, I think her dad might do something to overdose. And then later, you know, she's gonna be hurt about it. The kids are gonna be hurt about it. And later on, eventually, she might, she probably at the moment is gonna take it out on Lewis because maybe something he did. She might blame it on him or some shit. You feel me? And then eventually she'll get over it and apologize and realize that he was ugly as hell in the first place. Y'all put his ass on timeout. Eddie could find Spencer vape pen and overdose, and that's why Jackson's screaming and crying. Wait, you can overdose over a damn vape pen? Even if we could find a way to do that, niggas ain't gonna do that shit. DeMarcus going, I mean, not DeMarcus, Michael going to max out trying to box everybody. I've never heard about a vape pen overdose. Only like a fake vape, or someone smoking a dead battery. Yeah, I never heard of no shit like that either. So I was like, hold on, you could actually OD from a damn vape pen. Anyways, though, um, this is an episode 5. And I think, have I asked y'all or not? Do y'all think that nigga Pow Pow actually did it, or no? It was somebody else. So it can cause overdosing. Okay. Shit, I didn't know that. Right. You know who Pow Pow was the dude who got arrested, the actor. You know, there was time called him that. It's from some show he was in. Niggas just be mad because they be wrong as hell and think basic. They have a spray to stop overdosing to wake you back up quickly. Some of my friends would have been overdosed from them before then. They be smoking them all day, 24/7. Fentanyl laced vape pen claims one person's life in California. Yeah, that shit be getting bad in Cali, bro. That damn fentanyl. Yeah, I gotta rewatch episode 4 because it's crazy. I really don't even remember it that well. It's crazy. Like I remember the Lewis part, you know, the part with the dad just showing up and the kids liking him. All right, so what we at an hour 40 now. You don't think Ozzy did it? Mhm. I think you said who did you say you think did it? He had to pay the kids to get info. That's the only reason they. Ah, okay, yeah. I do remember something like that. Either Monica or Ozzy's sister. Oh yeah, Monica Brandy Evans' character. Now it's like certain stuff slightly coming back in my head, but like I said, I definitely got to rewatch this shit. Oh man, here come this beef. What the hell? Alice had some goons on the live Wendy. Alice is the friend or the dude that that was giving Ozzy the drugs, right? Y'all post active, bro. Anyway, I'm about to jump on to this last segment. Last segment of the day, we got Breeze's first move. Now, This nigga's boxing in this chat. I love this. You ain't lying. This chat is crazy. Who I think killed her? You know, for me, bro, I mean, I need to rewatch to study Brandy Evans' character a little bit more. So, but when I first saw it and stuff like that, like them first two episodes, I kind of thought it was maybe um shit, my bad. I was thinking this maybe Ozzy's mom or possibly that sister. That's what I was looking at. Because you know them parents did not want him with her. So they had motive. This nigga still keeping out his orders. But anyways, people, Breeze's first move. So Breeze's first move, people. We know that Breeze is a very legendary character, but it's crazy that he's already an icon without us even seeing him make one single move. Now, starting out, I think in Raising Kanan season 5, I think this nigga is gonna come out strong. I don't think it's gonna be any building up. I think this man gonna be ugly the first 3 episodes. Within 3 episodes, he gonna do something ugly as hell. And I think his grand masterpiece is gonna be something towards unique. And I can see that happening in episode 5. So here's another thing I'm curious of. With Breeze's character, do y'all think they're gonna have him do some ugly ass shit? People hate him, and then later on develop his character to the point that we grow to love him before he's finally ultimately put down by a ghost? Or is he gonna be a character that's always ugly as hell, or a character that we kind of gonna love the whole time? Because keep in mind, in the Power Choice Award, on his obituary, it said he was a loved brother. Didn't you and Hezzy say that Steven sound like Medea, and now y'all switching up? Switching up on what? What am I missing now? Was Kanan intimidated by Breeze, even shook by him at some point? You know, Ali, I believe he was. I believe he was because um why didn't he ever make a move towards Breeze? I mean, do you think it's more so loyalty, or is he actually, you know, kind of afraid of him? Especially if you actually believe that, you know, he had manipulated Ghost to do so. Why didn't he just do it himself? His first move is getting the territory, and we finally get introduced to the RSKs through Breeze doing business. So, in order for him to get this territory, what moves is he gonna do? Like, is he gonna take it from somebody? And if so, ideally, what crew do you think he's going to take? I agree, Ghostin. I am super hyped to see this nigga in action. Unique really vulnerable at this point. Pops and Snaps already heard ahead of this. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think Unique is that intelligent to be able to dig his way out. Only way I can see him maybe having a chance is the people around him. Like maybe Panessa could help him possibly, but Panessa's not really too street smart, you know. And perhaps if Rock survives and something was to happen that Unique and Rock could forgive each other and Rock see it coming to try to help him. But even if that was to happen, I could see Rock trying to help him but don't succeed. So you think he's gonna be ugly as hell in the beginning, and then we're gonna start to like him once Ghost and him gets really close. Well, I like ugly people, so I'm pretty sure me and DeMarcus is gonna be a fan of him if he turned out to be ugly as hell from the real. So Talia, what about you? Do you think Shamik Moore was bad casting? The only thing I can say about as far as my only little small critique about the casting, like I have no issue with the actor himself, but the only issue I slightly have is you know him being a smaller person. With the way they kind of describe Breeze, it kind of looked like he'll be a little bit more physically intimidating, but that didn't seem that obviously is not the case. And then also once I saw, Breeze being who he is, I was thinking, okay, maybe the entire cast is gonna be smaller. That way they can build it around like that. That way they can keep Makai a little short ass. You know, Breeze is not too tall himself, so they're gonna get the Ghost and Tommy, make them around 5'5", 5'6", 5'7". The actor's not too tall. And then they ended up casting Spence Moore for it, who's 5'11". So shit, I don't know. I do have a Discord channel, but I never use that shit. Right now, I'm not promoting another moderator right now, so especially with you spamming shit the way you be doing. I think his first move definitely gonna have something to do with Unique, more than likely killing him. That's I think that's his first big move for sure. That's what I'm leaning towards. First chain of command is probably gonna be getting his business together in general. Figuring out a system, how they're gonna be using it. I mean, we know Kanan already has a system together. So perhaps he's going to figure out a way to help, enhance Kanan's system. Do I think the Thomas family will save Unique? I think that depends on whether or not Rock is dead or alive. If Rock is still alive, then it's possible. I hope Unique gets to smash Rock again. If she alive, I think it's very possible. I'm going to be a huge fan as well. I love the evil characters. Right. They'd be the funniest people. I love the Shamik casting, but yeah, I do agree about the height. I think he gonna body it though. Facts. 100% agree with that. Boy, y'all niggas is funny as hell. You hate how flashy Breeze is? B really gonna snitch on who? End up like Scraps' mom. He gonna take the stand for Lulu. That'd be crazy if he did some shit like that. This nigga, you already know. See the Bugs Bunny no mean would be perfect right now. And the kidnapping they took Vanessa and Jerome, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Hope we get a power origin story on why the black hoodies are so significant in the universe. I don't know if we will though, because they already was wearing it and Raising Canaan. Like Unique's wearing it. We've seen Rock and Rock didn't really have a hood, but we seen Lou wear it. Who else? For sure, Lou and Unique. That is true. Thugs wear all black for sure. Shit, the goddamn Armenians outside of my place used always wearing it. Yeah, Unique had all of us going at one point too. Uh, Anyways, we at the 2 hour mark. It look like it's crazy. It's like this one. I feel like we've been in here longer than what we've been here, but I just think it's crazy how y'all always manage to end up beefing up in these damn chats. The actor who plays Marshall may be out of a job if his character dies in power since the shot is finally ended. I be taking some of that shade Wu too, bro. Cause you pay attention, Cameron, Shayru, which I know Cameron is Shayru, and Michael are never in the chat room at the same time. Pay attention. They're never in the chat at the same time. And I don't think Marshall's surviving. This is my opinion. I don't think that nigga making it. His ass up out of here. One man was in his feelings since he walked in the chat begging for apologies for 2 hours. The other got in his feelings because another man got time down for 5 minutes. Sound like Diddy and McMill. Damn. Anyways, I'm about to go ready to get up out here because it's dying down. Anyways, just mostly arguing in here. Not too much engagement. And I think we covered most of the key components. Anyways, so about to say the last remarks and we can get up out of here. When does Reasonable Doubt come on? Tomorrow at 12 a.m. right? 12 midnight. It's tomorrow though. Or is yeah. So basically, which is really Thursday. Thursday at midnight. We got a new Michael. He's green now. Everybody is cold, bro. How did he be having all these damn Gmails, bro? Like this nigga is cold. Would you ever start doing more of those Sunday lives on different days if people's schedules are open? Absolutely. Only reason why I only do it once right now it's because of I was trying to build it up more. But I mean, if my people would be open to doing it more than just one day, then yeah, absolutely. Maybe insert a second day or so because I know Solo's an attorney. She be having her day and stuff like that here and there and stuff like where she do things. But for the most part, she works from home, except days that she got to go to court. So she's kind of flexible. I'm very flexible, and Taj is pretty flexible. Um, Cairo runs her own businesses and stuff. Pretty much all of my friends are entrepreneurs or freelancers. We don't work 9 to 5s, so we're able to open up ourselves to be able to do shit like that. But that's a good question. Fuck it, let me drop some of these I never released. It's crazy. Anyways, man, I'm about to close this thing out. Everybody that came through, appreciate it. We will be doing a live show tomorrow in the morning. Me and Taj, because it's a Wednesday, so me and Taj will be doing it together tomorrow morning, same time, 10:30 Central. I love y'all, respect y'all. Y'all motherfuckers learn to get along in this damn chat. But until tomorrow morning, I'm about to go ahead and close this thing out.